really happy that you can join me for this program. You know, I created this program because I really want to help more people become entrepreneurs. Especially ngayon, no, ang belief ko talaga magtatagal ang recovery because it would take some time for these big companies to be able to hire again. So the reason why I created the Entrepreneur's Journey to Fruitfulness is because gusto ko sana makonsider nyo na you go on a business of your own. You know, some people are uncomfortable to go on business of their own. And ang feeling ko, this is really the best time for you to go into business kasi nawala yung opportunities ng malalaki. Do you notice in the past? Thank you for opening your videos. I really appreciate if you open your videos. Feeling ko may kausap ako. So I really, if you can, kung kaya lang ng bandwidth ninyo. But anyway, I've been always telling my friends, this is the best time to put up a business. Dati I feel bad na, alam mo, pagdating ng SM, andyan ng Robinson, andyan ng Ayala, nawawala yung maliliit na kumpanya. Pagdating nila, andyan yung Jollibee, andyan yung McDonald's. Well, that is not wrong because they can give employment. Hanggang employment na lang tayo. So today, the pandemic has actually leveled the playing field. And so this is really for me the best time for all of you to consider. Pero ang tanong, anong gagawin namin? Paano kami magpapatuloy? Alam mo, the other day I was talking to one company. They asked me to teach them about leadership. And nabanggit ko sa kanila, sabi ko, you know, the reason why many entrepreneurs fail because they feel that if they go to school and they have money, okay na yan, magsasucceed na. And many people fail. So sabi ko, alam mo, the reason why they fail is because many of their teachers do not have businesses. At the end of the session, there was this person who asked me, sabi niya, alam mo Sir Dong, tinamaan ako kasi I used to be a business teacher in a university. Nung nagnegosyo ko, ang dami kong mali. In fact, naubos tao ko. Okay, so nahiya ako sa kanya pero natawa ko sa kanya. So anyway, ang goal ko today is to really help you. I don't want you to lose money. So hopefully in the next 5 weeks as you join me, sana I can really help you establish good businesses. What we will do after each session, I will send you a video recording so that you can review the lesson and that will be available for 7 days and then we'll take that out. However, I'll also give you the PDF copy. Okay? Some speakers will not. Sabihin, no, ba't mo papamigay? Bibenta mo yan. Sabi ko, no, we are here to help. Okay? So I'll send you a PDF copy and a free link and the video for 7 days. Okay ba yun? Okay? So anyway, so let me just start by preparing my screen. No? Wait. Sorry, let me just prepare my screen so that we'll all be comfortable. Okay. So again, maraming salamat and just want to shout out to my friend Jason Law. Thank you for sitting in. Alam mo, si Jason is one of the people who is the reason why I speak. The first time I met him, sabi niya, you should speak to more people. And along with his friends, kaya ako andito, kasalanan ni Jason, nila Randall Chongson, tsaka nila Marvin. But anyway, I am happy na you are all here. Again, ang desire ko, sana I can bless all of you. Sana I can help all of you become good entrepreneurs. But before I go to the topic, will you just allow me to pray? Mag-pray muna tayo for this evening. Let me pray. Heavenly Father, maraming salamat for just giving me the opportunity to share the things that you've taught me sa mga taong nag-a-attend today. Naniniwala ako, Lord, na walang aksidente. Nandito sila not because of me or because gusto lang na matuto negosyo. Nandito sila because pinili mo sila for a special reason. And so Lord, this evening, just allow me to share the wisdom that you'd share with me so that they can experience what I experience. Sana, Father, they will all become good entrepreneurs to be your witness to the world that your ways will always be better. I commit to you our time praying, Father, that you would just bless us and bless us indeed. In Jesus' name we pray. So anyway, the first lesson, if you have watched the video, no, sabi ko, the first lesson would be defining entrepreneurship. Now, why would do I want to start the program by defining entrepreneurship? Eh, marami na kayong nabasang about entrepreneurship and supposed to be, dapat alam nyo na. The reason why I'd like to start with this is because I realize in life that if you do things with the right definition, right action din ang nangyayari. So tamang definition will result to tamang action. And I did on last October 2, I did a webinar called Entrepreneurship, Demystified and Clarified. If you were not able to attend that, just send an email sa guro@negosyo@gmail.com and we'll still send you the copy. Okay? Because dapat sana, to those who attended, minus namin yung bayad nila noon doon sa Entrepreneurship Today, no? Pero so it was a gift to people. So kung hindi mo yun na-attendan, just let us know, then we'll send you the video of that webinar. Now, in that webinar, I explain certain things na paniwala natin about entrepreneurship that are really hurting us. Like for example, I'll give you two na diniscuss ko doon, no? One is this idea that entrepreneurship is the freedom to do what you want, when you want, and how you want to. And this was popularized by this person, Jet Benarji. And all entrepreneurs yun ang decide, diba? Bakit ayaw mo na maging empleyado? Kasi I want the freedom to do what I want, when I want, and how I want to. Alam mo, I always tell people, totoo, entrepreneurship is the freedom to do what you want in the proper time, but never in the beginning. Because in the beginning, you must be ready to become a slave to your business para makalaki siya. And I will explain that mamaya. And so I am always amazed when I see millennials putting up their own business. Mamaya nasa Boracay, mamaya nagpa-party, mamaya namamasyal. Sabi ko, patay na. Patay na yung negosyo na yun. Bakit? Eh kasi wala siya doon eh. Like I gave this example. Supposing may malaking problema yung negosyo mo. Tapos sabi mo sa tao mo, "Hoy, kayo muna ang bahala. Kasi magsusurfing ako sa La Union eh. Tulungan ko lang kayo pagbalik ko." Pwede ba yun? Baka pagbalik mo, wala ka ng negosyo. Di ba? So, while entrepreneurship is freedom, it is not freedom in the beginning. It is freedom in the proper time. Like for example, today, I have time to teach you. But when I was starting, I did not have time. Okay? That freedom comes in the proper time. So, if you're going to entrepreneurship with this mindset, patay na, lugi kagad tayo. And then most people would say, lack of capital is the reason why small businesses fail. And most people, yan ang concern, paano ba ako makahanap ng kapital? I talk to many people and I ask them, ba't wala ka pang negosyo? Wala akong kapital eh. And so to many people, it is about money. That is not true. Because I will expound on this na in this program. Because in a business, what you need are 8 forms of capital. What are this capital? You need financial, material, intellectual, moral, natural, social, experiential, and cultural. I'll explain this later. But there are 8 capitals you need to be able to succeed. And nakala lang natin it's all about finances. And in fact, that's the reason why many people have failed. So I would like to start, kaya nga I'm starting this program by entrepreneurship defined. Ano ba talaga ang ibig sabihin ng entrepreneurship? Now, if you have been following me, you know that I'm a mindset person. Anong mindset person? As I help you understand things better, I believe you respond accordingly. So that's the reason why I explain many things, because your idea will actually result to your action. If you follow the wrong definition leads to tragedy. Okay? Kaya maraming ngayong depressed. Maraming millennials ngayon tsaka Gen Z depressed. Bakit? Nagnegosyo, nag-aral sa mahal na eskwelahan. Meron ako marami akong kilala nag-aral sa endurance, di ba? Ang mahal daw ng eskwelahan na 'yon. Okay, BS
Endurance.
Entrepreneurship, Lasal, Ateneo. Now, I hope I'm not offending anybody. Paglabas, nalugi pa rin. I know a lot. Ano nangyari? Hopefully, I'll explain. It is not the fault of the child. It is not the fault of the person. Mali lang ang definition na sinundan niya. What is entrepreneurship today? Entrepreneurship is defined. This is the most popular definition of entrepreneurship. It says it is the activity of setting up a business, taking on financial risk in the hope of profit. Would you agree? Is this what you have been learning in school and as you read? Di ba? Ito yung natutunan nyo, no? Pwede lang kayo tumango, nakikita ko naman kayo. But anyway, ito yung pinaka-popular, ito yung sinusundan ng mga tao. However, over time, as today, there are more entrepreneurial colleges. There are, in fact, I showed in Entrepreneurship Demystified and Clarified that there's a entrepreneur ecosystem that's being formed. Ano yon? Most universities give entrepreneurial courses. There are a lot of financing companies offering cheap interest rate. Di ba sabi nila mga investors, mga like for example yung sa Shark Tanks. So there's more money, there's more knowledge. Pero do you know what's happening today? According to a study in Bloomberg that was done in 2016, medyo matagal na to, pero I believe it's still happening, that 8 of 10 businesses fail in the first 18 months of their operation. Do you understand what this means? There's around 100 people today. Tayo, mga 100 tayo today. That means if you all go into business, 80 of you will lose money. 20 of you will succeed. Sino sa inyo gusto mawala ng pera? Can you raise your hands? Wala, no? Sino sa inyo ang gusto kumita ng pera, maging successful as entrepreneur? Can you raise your hand? Paano yan? This study says only 20% will fail or will succeed. So, pagdadasal ko na lang kayo na sana kasama kayo sa 20%, di ba? Kasi 80% will lose money. Pero ang tanong, does that have to happen to everybody? One of the reason why I want to teach is because I want this country to become rich. I want to build a country to help contribute to the country so that my children's children will have a good future. Paano mangyayari yan if more of us lose money? Hindi ba? So ang desire ko is to help all of you not to lose money but to gain because of the future of our children. And I really believe this does not have to be so. Well, kaya natin na every 10 entrepreneurs will succeed, na walang mawawalan. But again, depende yan kung ano ang gagawin nyo. Because of this study, because of this result, alam ba nyo na 1 of 3 entrepreneurs today are living in depression and experiencing mental health disorder? You've heard of that, di ba? Many people today are going through mental health issues. Why? Alam mo, if you lose money, especially the money of your family, di ba? Talagang mababaliw ka. In fact, I hope you don't mind me saying it's a public knowledge naman na, di ba, yung presidente ng San Miguel, nagbaril nagbaril ba yun? Basta wanted, and they had so much money. Bakit siya nagkaroon ng ganong pakiramdam? And hindi lang siya nag-iisa, marami today are in depression as they fail in spite of the fact that they are well informed. So let me go back to the definition. It says entrepreneurship is the activity or the ability to set up a business, taking on financial risk in hope of profit. And then they say, di ba, the greater the risk, the greater the gain. Have you heard of that? The greater the risk, alam mo, I hate that principle. Alam mo bakit? Because hindi nila kinumpleto eh. The greater the risk, the greater the gain, which is true. But the greater the chances of losing your money. Do you understand that? The greater the risk, the greater the gain. But the greater the chances of losing money. Today, ang tanong ko, do we really have to take great financial risk in order to profit? That is my hope, to explain tayo kung kailangan ba talaga. So from this definition, there are two things that people are called to do. One, learn how to set up a business. Diba? Because it is about setting up a business, what do? We go to school, believing that if I go to school, they will teach me how to set up a business. There's nothing wrong with school. Diba? You acquire knowledge. Tama. Okay? Pero may tanong ako sa inyo. Yung nagturo sa inyo sa eskwela, may negosyo wala? Wala namang negosyo, di ba? Oh, ano tinuro nila? Linoko ba nila kayo? Hindi. Hindi nila kayo linoko. They were not trying to deceive you, but how can they tell you something na hindi nila dinaanan? And this is what I learned. The great entrepreneurs have no time to teach people. So I would often say, do you want to understand entrepreneurship? The best way to understand entrepreneurship is go work for these people. So why am I teaching you? That just means I'm not great. Okay? But it just means that I really believe God taught me so that I can teach others. You know, we have accomplished a lot in our farm. I'll show you some of them. But I really believe God allowed me to go through all those pain so that on October 16, I can teach you. And hopefully, I can help you. So first, ang sabi, set up a business. And then second, find the finances that you can put up to risk. Is that correct? So go to school and learn, and then look for the money to put to risk. Now, are these true? Let me share with you one of the statement of one of the great entrepreneurs of our time. Do you know Mark Cuban? He's the owner of the Dallas Maverick. And he's a serial entrepreneur. He's a rags to riches story. He's a very rich person in America. May kita mo siya sa Shark Tank. Look at what he said. Only morons start business on a loan. You know, I like Shark Tank. Okay? Because I get to understand their mind. Do you know that they will not invest on someone who started on a loan? They always invest on a person who started with what he had. Napalaki niya, kulang ng investment para palakihin lalo. Pero ayaw nila nag-invest. Yung pag highly leveraged, meaning daming utang, ayaw na nila mag-invest. Sabihin na, paano ka makikita? Laki na ng utang mo. Okay? And the reason why some of those entrepreneurs are like that was because yun ang turo sa kanila. So look at this great entrepreneur. Sabi niya, only morons start a business on a loan. And yet school will tell us, you need to take great financial risk. The greater the risk, the greater the gain. Without completing the principle. Okay? The greater the chances of losing your money. Now, the present-day definition says, entrepreneurship is the willingness to set up a business and take great financial risk in order to profit. Alam nyo, if entrepreneurship is about taking financial risk, then I am not an entrepreneur. If you don't know me, if this is the first time you're listening to me, pinadala ka ng kumpanya mo, dayo ako sa Bukidnon, and we basically had nothing. Our first house was a container van, started with barren land, and I had nothing to risk because I had no money. Kaya nga, ang una naming bahay, 20-foot container van. And we were able to buy this land by borrowing money from the family of my wife. And it was not enough to finish the farm. We started as a hog-growing farm. But in spite of that, without a lot of resources, with nothing to risk, we were able to convert barren land into a lush forest. Okay, with very, very little. We grow hogs from Monterey. I believe I'm one of the biggest high-value crop in the country. Though malaki ang Benguet, sila maraming maliliit. Ako, just one contiguous farm. I'm one of the biggest goat and sheep farm in Mindanao, not in the country because may malalaki sa Luzon. And then I have a forest. Today I grow I grow organic chicken. We grow kale, sugar beets, and over time nagawa namin 'yon. And many farms cannot do what we're doing, yung grabe ang variety. So, how are we able to accomplish this without taking financial risk? And then some of you would say, galing ka sa HP eh. So siguro HP taught you how to become an entrepreneur. That is not true. To those who are corporate people here, the corporate world doesn't teach you how to become an entrepreneur. It's a completely different world. Iba ang discipline sa corporate world sa pagiging entrepreneur. In fact, for the first 4 years ko in doing business, I always lost money. And I could not figure it out. Ang kausap ko noon sa HP were very complicated engineers. Dito, kausap ko lang magbababoy. Di ba laborer? Hindi ko siya mapakita. The discipline are different. However, your corporate experience will help you a lot. In fact, yun ang pati ko sinasabi, you want to become an entrepreneur, go work for someone else. And later, I'll explain to you bakit siya importante. So here I am. I was forced to set up a business because of the story, what God did to us, and then I had no money to risk. And yet, all I can tell people is to see what the Lord has done. Diba? So, for a long time already, I have been wanting to teach people about entrepreneurship. Even before I met sila Jason Law, sila Randall Chongson, I wanted to teach people. Kaso lang, the reason why I cannot teach people was because I go against the natural definition, which is to take financial risk. I went against that. I did not have that. However, as things progress, sabi ko, meron sigurong ibang ibig sabihin ng entrepreneurship. And this is what I'd like to share with you. What did I discover? So ang ginawa ko, because I believe I'm relatively successful than compared to a lot of entrepreneur, ang ginawa ko, I studied the old definition. And in fact, I was also checking the Bible. Ano sabi sa about entrepreneurship? So dalawa ginawa ko. I checked the old definition. Saan ba galing tong word na to? And then the Bible. Let me show you what I saw. The word entrepreneur comes from an old French word, entreprendre. Do you know what it means? Very, very simple. The definition is very, very simple. To undertake a task. Walang sinabi sa original concept, take great financial risk. Sabi niya lang, you are given a task, gawin mo. You undertake a task. Kung may negosyo ka, you undertake the task. So when I check ang ibig sabihin ng undertake, it means to manage. Kaya business management, di ba? It means to manage. But more importantly, the other word for the original word is to take care of. Ulitin ko ha. Entrepreneur said, take care of. Take care of what? Di ba? Yun ang tanong eh. Take care of what? Kung wala siyang financial risk, take care of what? The answer is to take care of what you have already. Today, many of you wanting to go to business. And ang tanong nyo parate, ano magandang pasukan? Okay? Yun ang tanong parate, ano magandang pasukan? Ano uso? Tapos gaya-gaya. And many people fail. Before I explain to you kung paano mamili ng negosyo, I need you first to understand that the original definition just simply said, take care of what you have. So therefore, entrepreneurship, the original definition is stewardship of what you have. Okay? It's stewardship. I'll expound on that mamaya. So when I saw that, nung wala yung taking great financial risk, then I went to the Bible. Kasi for a long time, you know that I teach business according to the Bible. For a long time, I could not reconcile the definition of Oxford to the things I read in the Bible. Wala doon eh. But when I saw Entreprendre, I started to check ano sabi ng Bible. Now, why do I use the Bible in business? If you've heard my story, you know that I started to read the Bible because I was just depressed. I was looking for comfort. Then I learned that most of the people we call entrepreneurs were actually, the people we call prophets were actually entrepreneurs, business people, farmers, dayo. And so when I realized that they were ordinary business people, I started to read the Bible now as a business book. Abraham was a successful businessman, had 318 men. Meaning, kung titingnan mo yun, he had 318 men who were like soldiers. If you multiply that by 5 for wife and children, he was feeding 1,500 people. Ang laki ng negosyo na yun. Joseph was the same. Joseph saved a nation from 7 years of famine. Is one of the greatest entrepreneur in history para sa akin. So I went to the Bible. And I was now looking, what is entrepreneurship according to the Bible? Then let me share with you what I saw. In Ecclesiastes chapter 5 verse 19, sabi diyan, everyone also to whom God has given wealth and possessions and power to enjoy them and to accept his lot and rejoice in his toil, this is the gift of God. So this person was given wealth and possession. You know, in the Bible, when God gives you wealth and possession, what does he expect you to do? Humiga? Hindi ah. If you read the parable of the talent, di ba, yung binigyan niya ng 5, he expected him to grow it. Yung binigyan ng 2, he expected him to grow it. Yung isa na hindi ginamit, pinagalitan yon, pinakulong yon. So when God gives someone wealth and possession, God expects us as stewards na palaguin yon to make it fruitful. Yun ang expectation ni God. So this man was an entrepreneur. He was a successful entrepreneur because he was enjoying life. Di ba? Sabi niya, he was rejoicing in his toil, he had the power to enjoy them. So this man must be a successful entrepreneur. However, there's another entrepreneur that was not successful. And we saw that statement or his story in Ecclesiastes 6:2. It says, a man to whom God gives wealth, possession, and honor, so that he lacks nothing of all he desires. Yet God does not give him power to enjoy them, but a stranger enjoys them. This is vanity, a grievous evil. 2 men who were both given wealth and possession, and yet one enjoyed and the other did not. Yung isa pa, a stranger enjoyed his possession. Di ba ang sakit nun? Hindi ikaw nakinabang, ibang tao nakinabang. So anong pinagkain ba ng idalawa? So when I was studying this, gusto ko maintindihan bakit yung isa successful, bakit yung isa hindi. Ang ginawa ko ay superimpose the 2 verses. Alam mo yun, pinagsama ko, tiningnan ko, ano diferensya nila. Let me show you what made one successful and the other did not. It says, the first one accepted his lot and rejoiced in his toil. I learned that a successful entrepreneur is someone who accepts his lot and rejoices in his toil. It's still the concept of stewardship. Okay? come to me, isa parati tanong nila, Dong, anong magandang negosyong pasukan? Is that what you're asking also? Di ba? Anong magandang negosyong pasukan? And so, normal yan ang tanong ngayon. In fact, you are here. Sabi sa akin ni Lloyd kanina, may nagtatanong na, ano kaya magandang negosyong pasukan? Anong magandang opportunity today? You know, I hope you will not mind if I tell you that I really get irritated with that question. So do not ask me that question again, ha? In the future, do not ask me bakit. Ang sagot ko dyan, walang maganda. Walang pangit. Lahat maganda. Lahat pangit. Kasi ang pagnenegosyo, wala sa negosyo. Nasa tao yan. So all of you are looking for businesses na sigurado. Yun ang tanong doon. Ano ba ang negosyong sigurado? Wala. E paano pagsabihin ko sa inyo na meron akong kaibigan sa Cagayan? Alam mo, ang trabaho niya junk shop. He's one of the biggest junk shop in Cagayan. Binibili niya lahat ng junk ng malalaking factory. Every other year, bumibili ng bagong kotse. Oh, pagsabihin ko sa inyo, maganda yon, magja-junk shop kayo? Di ba? Bakit ang tanong natin parati, anong maganda? Hindi dapat natin tinatanong kung anong maganda kasi lahat maganda. Ulitin ko ha, walang pangit, walang maganda. Lahat pangit, lahat maganda. Kasi ang pag-succeed ng negosyo, wala sa klase ng negosyo, na sa taong nagne-negosyo. So the first thing an entrepreneur must do is accept my lot. What does that mean? Let me show you principles about plants. You know, I always say, a seed contains everything the plant need to become fruitful. And then the seed doesn't complain na ang lit-lit ang binigay ni God sa kanya. Hindi siya nagko-complain. So the seed will not complain na maliit ang binigay ng pagkain ni God sa kanya, yet when it is grown fully, it can produce a lot of fruit. However, meron din sana akong gustong sabihin sa inyo. It is the seed that decides what kind of fruit it will have. So therefore, you must plant it where it should be planted. Now, I will offend some of you a little, but I hope I will explain why I say this. Alam mo, may tanong ako sa inyo. Kanina bang umaga tumingin kayo sa salamin? Pagising nyo, tumingin kayo sa salamin? Tumingin kayo, hindi. Tumingin kayo, di ba? Hindi mo pa tinanong sarili mo, bakit ka pango? Hindi mo tinanong yon? O hindi mo matanggap na pango ka? Maski anong gawin mo, pango ka kumpara sa Amerikano. Pango tayo. Eh bakit ganyan ang kulay ng balat mo? Okay, ba't yan ang kulay ng balat mo? Bakit ka brown? Ba't hindi ka puti? If God wanted you to be born in America, could you have been born in America? An American? Pwede, di ba? If God would have want you to be born in Australia, pwede ka ba maging Australiano? Pwede. Pwede ka ginawang Pilipino. Kasi sabi niya you are the best person to take care of this country. Andito yung opportunity mo. Now, I do not wish to offend the OFWs. I believe you did what you did, believing that that is what God wants you to do. Then stay where you are and maximize the opportunities God has given you. Pero pag hindi ka pa OFW, I wish you'd stay. Ako naman, I wish the OFW would come home. Now, why is that? I want you to bless this country. Because I believe the things you've learned abroad should benefit this country. Parang Korea. Why is South Korea so strong? Because there was a time in their life they sent out a lot of people as workers. And then these people came back to rebuild South Korea. Now, how do I know that? Because in 2002, I went on a prayer tour in South Korea. Kinikwento yun ng pastor. When they were recovering from the war, they were all going out to work for other countries. When they were experienced, they came back to rebuild their country and make it great. There is nothing wrong with leaving this country. Okay? Just maximize the opportunity. But if you're not, pag andito ka ba, yun lang gusto ko malaman. Kaya ka pango kasi para ka dito. Okay? So kailangan natin maintindihan saan tayo linagay ni God. Now, let me show you that this principle is in the Bible. In Genesis 1:28, before God said, be fruitful, Sabi niya muna, I have blessed you. Do you know the title of this webinar? Entrepreneur's Journey to Fruitfulness. So I want all of you to become fruitful. But for you to become fruitful, I first want you to bear something in mind. God has blessed you already. Pero sabi nyo, parang wala. Hindi ko makita. The only reason why hindi mo makita kasi ayaw mong tanggapin na bless ka na ni God. You look around you and feeling mo, kulang kasi may gusto mo yung blessing ng ibang tao eh. Kaya nga, ang entrepreneur will first accept his lot. Ito, okay, ang binigay ni God sa akin. To my OFW friends, today, God gave you work abroad. That is God's blessing to you. Diyan tayo magsisimula. Okay? Diyan ka magsisimula kung nasaan ka ngayon. And then the parable of the talent also explains this. The parable of the talent says, for it is just like a man who called his own slave and entrusted his possessions to them. Now, I need you to understand something. The talent is not singing talent. The talent is actually money. One talent is worth 15 years of a laborer's salary. At the present salary, at the present minimum rate of employees today, one talent is worth 2 million pesos. So hindi maliit, malaki 'yon. So the Bible is telling us may pinagkatiwala na sa atin. However, many of us are like the third slave. Ano yung third slave? Binigyan ng one talent. Alam mo, naintindihan yun? Binigyan ng 2 million, binigyan ng possession. Ayaw niya. Kasi ayaw daw niya sa boss niya. Okay? So many of us do not enjoy what we have because we do not like what we have. Now, some of you may have lesser opportunity. However, that's just because of your ability. You know, there's one person I'm really, really proud of, and she's with us today. Si Gemma Espeleta. I asked her to join again so I can bless her. Si Gemma, caregiver sa Israel nakabili ng farm maraming engineer na OFW, wala pa rin investment Okay? Because si Gemma accepted her lot and rejoiced in her toil. Tinanggap niya. Yan ang binigay ni God sa akin. Let me show you what happens when people do not accept their lot. Many people have land and they call themselves poor. Sa Pilipinas lang siguro ang may-ari ng lupa and sabihin niya, mahirap ako. Sabi ko, wow, paano nangyari yun? Sa ibang bansa, pag may lupa ka, mayaman ka. Dito sa Pilipinas, mahirap ka. No, bakit naghihirap? Let me share with you a story. When I established si Mila sa Kinabuhi in 2006, there were a group of ladies who joined our training. And they came from a micro-lending company, empleyado sila. So hindi malaki sweldo doon. So in that seminar, sabi ko, nobody's born poor. Lahat mayroong kayamanang pinigay ang Panginoon. So there was this one lady. She was 21 years old. She was very skinny. Sabi niya, hindi totoo yan, sir. Ako pinangamanak na mahirap. And ako, I insisted, wala pinanganak na mahirap. Sabi niya kami, sir. So sabi ko, ano ibig sabihin? Tagasan ka ba? Sabi niya, Agusan del Norte. And that is like 10 to 12 hours from Cagayan. Sabi ko, layo naman. Sabi niya, kasi sir, kailangan ko magtrabaho para magpadala ng pera sa nanay ko. So in that seminar, I asked them to write what they have. Sabi ko, pag dalaga ka, lahat ng ari-arian ng nanay mo sa'yo. Pag ay asawa ka, lahat ng ari-arian ng Mrs. or Mr. mo sa'yo. Write everything you have. After that workshop, I asked them to read, especially this lady. Alam mo, sabi niya, meron no kaming 1 hektaryang palayan. Sabi ko, walang yayaman sa 1 hektaryang palayan. Then sabi niya, meron no kaming 3 hektaryang nyugan. Nanlaki mata ko. Meron silang 4 na hektarya. And then they call themselves poor. Tapos sabi pa niya, meron ho kaming traktor. Sabi ko, sira ba yung traktor? Hindi ho. Nasaan yung traktor? Nasa bodega ho namin. Ba't walang gumagamit? Sabi ho ng tatay ko matandaan na siya, ayaw niya na mag-farming. Sabi ko, wala kang kapatid na lalaki para mag-farm? Meron ho. Nasaan yung kapatid mong lalaki? Sabi ng kapatid kong lalaki, walang yung mayaman sa farming eh. So, naghanap po siya ng trabaho sa syudad. Kasi sabi ko, nakakita na ng trabaho? Wala pa ho. Sabi ko, nasan siya ngayon? Andun sa bahay namin nakatambay. Di ba baliw? Di ba? They call themselves poor. They have 4 hectares of land because they did not accept their lot. Do you understand me? Many of you are struggling in life because you do not accept your lot. You do not believe that what you have has the potential to make you rich. Tas merong iba, ginawa nila, binenta nila ng lupa. O pag may tamaan ako, okay, magagalit ha. Nagbenta ng lupa, umutang pa, nag-abroad. Anong plano abroad? Magtrabaho, mag-ipon, di ba? Pag-ipon, pag-uwi, anong plano? Para makabili ng lupa. Kasi baliw talaga. Binenta niya yung malaking lupa niya para pagbalik niya, malit na lang na lupa mabibili niya. Bakit? Kasi land appreciates eh. 20 years after, balit na lang yung lupa na mabibili mo. Ito dati malaki. Sabi, may pera naman ako para mag-farm. Wala ka pa rin mang alam sa farming. Di ba ano lang silbi ng pera mo? So many of us are struggling because we do not accept our lot. So when people ask me, Dong, anong magandang negosyong pasukan? Ang una kong tanong, anong meron ka? Anong alam mo? Because yun dapat ang magde-define kung anong negosyong hahabulin mo. Kasi yun ang binigay sa iyo ng Panginoon. Sabi ni, when people do not accept their lot, ito sabi ng Bible, a man to whom God gives wealth, possession, and honor, so that he lacks nothing of all that he desires. Yet God does not give him the power to enjoy them, but a stranger enjoys them. This is vanity. It is a grievous evil. This is the state of many Filipinos. In the concept of a plant, I want you to know that every seed has the potential to become fruitful. However, it does not become fruitful on its own. It needs a good farmer to bring out its potential. A farmer who will rejoice in his toil. Kayo, pag nagtatanong kayo, anong magandang negosyong pasukan? Ang tinatanong niya kagad, anong negosyong maganda, mabilis mamunga? And yung madaming bunga. So yun parating tanong ng tao. In fact, when people go into farming, yun yung tanong nila sa akin, Dong, ano magandang itanim? Sabi ko, wala namang maganda eh. Wala namang pangit eh. Bakit? Kasi hindi mo importante yung bunga. Importante na intindihan mo kung ano yung proseso ng pagbunga. Now, I need you to understand. I explain this in many of my webinars. Fruits are just natural byproduct of a healthy plant. So if you want to be a good farmer, do not concentrate on the fruit. Do not think about the fruit. Think about taking good care of the plant. Because when you grow a healthy plant, fruits automatically come out. So the work of a farmer is not on growing the fruit. It's growing a healthy plant that will produce the fruit. It's a natural byproduct. And there's a process to follow. You start with the seed, and then you make sure the roots will grow, because the roots represents the ability of the plant. We'll study this on the next lesson. The roots represents the ability of the plant to grow healthy, to become healthy. And then later, when the roots are strong, it can grow strong shoots. And then yung tanim will just focus on this. And then in the proper time, fruits naturally come out. Ulitin ko ha. The plant do not focus on producing fruit. It focuses on growing healthy. When it is healthy, it will automatically produce fruits. In business, it is the same. Your goal must not to profit. Your goal must be to build a healthy business, because when the business is healthy, the profit follows. On our 4th lesson, I will teach you how to build a profitable business. Pag-uusapan natin yon. Ano ang proseso to build a profitable business? But the focus of business is never be profit, because it's a natural byproduct. Okay? And I want you to know that everything in life goes to stages of growth. Do you know that butterflies go to stages of growth? Nakita na ba kayong ganon? Alam mo yung caterpillar, naging cocoon, tapos mag-butterfly. Nung bata kayo, makakita kayo ng cocoon. Anong ginawa nung bata kayo? Di ba pinakialaman nyo? Nakita kayo ng cocoon, kinuha mo, kumuha ka ng gunting, ginupit mo. Paggupit mo, nung nakahilata yung butterfly, sabi, sige, lumipad ka na. Hindi makalipad, namatay. Bakit? Kasi it needs to rub its wings on the cocoon eh. Because every time it rubs its wings, lumalakas, nagkakaroon ng fluid to produce muscle so that it can develop good wings. Pag pinakialaman mo yan, hindi yan lilipad. Everything in life is the same. Dapat huwag mong pakialam ang sisiw. Dapat you should allow a chick to come out of its shell on its own because every time it scratches and it uses its beak, the beak strengthens and then the claw strengthen. Pag pinalabas mo yan, mahina siya. Ganon din ang negosyo. You do not become successful overnight. There are stages you need to go through. So therefore, you must respect the process. Business is not about setting up a business. It's about respecting the process, or better yet, enjoy the process. Enjoy the process of growing it. Hindi porket naka-set up ka ng negosyo, okay ka na. Because setup is just a start, but you need to learn how to grow it properly. You must enjoy it. Kaya nga sabi, rejoice in its toil. Ako, my joy in farming is not the fruit. Alam ko lalabas yun. My joy is to see the plant grow healthy because I know the fruit will come out naturally. Because of that, I want you to know that every business has the potential to become profitable. But it does not become profitable on its own. It needs a good entrepreneur to bring out its potential. Let me go back to this study ng Bloomberg. Do you know what's wrong with this study? There are many things wrong with this study. First of all, why do you expect a business to profit in 18 months? Let me ask you a question. Did SM profit? Did SM become big in 2 years or even 5 years? Uy, hindi ah. Did Apple become successful in 18 months? Di ba sinipa pa nga si Steve Jobs? He had to return after many years. The great businesses did not profit in 18 months because they're still building their abilities, the roots, the ability of the business. Because 18 months, you do not expect profit. You just expect to gain experience and grow in ability. Kaya marami nagpe-fail. Kasi the world is telling them you should be profitable in 18 months. Can I give you a confession? I've been farming for 23 years. Okay? Wala pa akong proper profit. I am not saying we have not profited. Kaso lang ginagamit ko yung profit to be able to put back and develop the whole farm. I have 55 hectares. We've only developed 30. So that means I still have 20 hectares to go to develop. Where will I get the money to develop? From the profit. When will I stop developing the farm? Do you know when? Pag nabuo ko na yung 55 hectares, hinto na ako. By that time, now the farm will now take care of me. Di ba? I profit. I enjoy. You know, farming is difficult. Yung mga nag-iisip sa inyo mag-farming, mahirap ang farming. Matagal kumita. Pero ito lang maganda sa farming. Pag kumikita na siya, tuloy-tuloy siya. Palaki siya ng palaki every year. Hindi katulad ng ibang negosyo, pagkita mo, ulitan na naman. Sa farming, because the plants are now big, they just grow continually. You'll have less work. You now have freedom. Do you understand? In the proper time. Not in the time you want, but in the proper time. So therefore, a good entrepreneur is not someone who looks for profit. A good entrepreneur is someone who enjoys the process of creating and growing a business. You know, at a certain point, si Jeff Bezos became the richest man in the world, di ba? Before si Elon Musk became the richest man. You know, I heard this interview. Di sabi, tinanong, did you ever foresee that you will become the richest man on earth? Sabi, no. Sabi niya, I never foresaw this. So now that you're the richest man in the world, what will you do? Go back to work. Can you imagine? Go back to work. Okay? Ang enjoyment nila, hindi yung pera, but the work. Because profit is just a byproduct. It is a reward. Yun ang problema. People are so focused on profit kasi may gusto silang bilhin. You see, profit. It's just a byproduct. It's not something you work for. It's a reward. And this is why Solomon said, everyone also to whom God has given wealth and possession and power to enjoy them and to accept his lot and rejoice in his toil. This is the gift of God. Anong gift? Verse 20 says, for he will not often consider the years of his life because God keeps him occupied with the gladness of his heart. So God is saying, if you just accept your lot and rejoice in your toil, meaning enjoy the process of growing your business, focus ka lang dyan, darating ang profit naturally. So the reason why many of us are depressed is we're focusing on the wrong things. We're focusing on the profit, not realizing it's just a natural byproduct. We focus on what we have and we enjoy the work. So to me, that is entrepreneurship. What is entrepreneurship? In 1973, the economist Richard Cantillon said, the distinguishing feature of an entrepreneur is the bearing of risk from engaging in business without an assurance of the profit that will be derived. The original definition did not have the idea of taking great financial risk. It gives you the idea of you go into business with what you have, pero walang assurance sa kikita. Walang assurance. Kasi ikaw kailangan magpakita. Ibig sabihin, hindi natural yung pagkita. Hindi siya automatic. Ginagawa nung tao. A good entrepreneur is the one who's able to take kung ano meron siya and gumawa siya ng kita. So for me, an entrepreneur is not someone who looks for a business to pursue, but someone who's able to produce something good from what he has already. To my OFW friends, let me share with you a conversation I had with a good friend sa Qatar. This couple was very nice to me when we were there. At sabi nila, Sir Dong, gusto na namin umuwi. But we feel our investment is not yet ready. Is not enough to give us a passive income. Ito na yung mga passive income. Ayaw magtrabaho, no? Okay? Sabi ko, ano bang ginagawa mo yung sa lalaki? What's your work here? Sabi niya, paramedic nurse, oh. Yung babae, yung misis mo, ano? Kung ano, diabetic nurse, diabetic expert. Sabi ko, alam mo ang gagawin ko? If I have 5 million pesos, magtatayo ako ng dialysis center. Dialysis, and then the dialysis center will create money. Kulang dialysis center sa Pilipinas. Now, huwag kayo papasok sa dialysis center lahat, ha? Hindi kayo nurse, ha? Sila lang kasi alang intindihan nila eh. So I will now use my experience as an OFW. Pagbalik ko, yun din ang negosyo ko. Di ba? Use what God has given you. You understand what I'm telling you? Do not ask, anong magandang negosyong pasukan? Ask instead, what can I do with what I have? Because para sa akin, entrepreneurs do not wait for opportunities to come. They create them from the things they have in their hands. So sa akin, entrepreneurship is stewardship of what you have, and that is what I am. The reason why I have been successful is because I believe I have worked hard to become a good steward for the Lord. When I became a good steward for the Lord blessed me. The Lord let me go through, He allowed me to go through many, many problems so that someday I can teach you. As I end lang, I want you to know that the entrepreneurs we admire did not start with what they want, but with what they have. On the left side is Henry C. You know his story? His father came here before the war, nagtayo ng sari-sari store. Nasunog yung sari-sari store during the war. So the father decided to go back to China. Henry C. decided to stay. He worked for another sari-sari store, maybe a grocery store. Then makita siya, ang daming combat boots na naiwan. So kinuha niya yung binenta niya. Kaya siya nagbenta ng sapatos. He went to school, I think sa FEU. Second year, he stopped. Went on business on his own. Did he really want to sell shoes? No. Yun ang marami. So binenta niya. Jack Ma was born poor. Did Jack Ma have this vision for Alibaba? No, he did not. He applied in 30 companies, rejected by everybody, even by KFC. Can you imagine, KFC na lang, rejected ka pa? And then so he became an English teacher. When he was an English teacher, he applied in Harvard for scholarship. 10 times he was rejected. Because he was an English teacher, kinuha siya ng Apple as an interpreter. When he was in Apple, he saw the potential of the internet. Yun lang meron siya. So the entrepreneurs that you admire did not start with what they want, but with what they have. The entrepreneurs that you want to imitate did not get rich overnight, but became rich over time. When I saw this, I was so encouraged because si Warren Buffett only became rich when he was on the 50 years old na siya. Hindi nung bata, when he was 50. Okay? And what did these guys do? The great entrepreneurs, they accepted their lot and rejoiced in their toil. That was their focus. And as I end lang, I'd like to end with this. Everyone who undertakes a task to produce an income is an entrepreneur. So even if you're an employee, you are an entrepreneur. Sabi, wala akong pangpuhunan. Hindi naman yun ang sabi ng original eh. Ang sabi ng original definition, if you're happy with what you have and rejoice in your toil, you are an entrepreneur. And I'll show you through these webinars. Now, one of the best position in life is to be an employee. Bakit? Well, hindi ka namumuhunan eh. Kumikita ka, hindi ka namumuhunan eh. Eh yung mga negosyante, bago kami kumita, kailangan mabawi namin puhunan namin. And I'll explain that later. I'm about to end and lang sa akin, I've been writing books because I want to pass on everything I know to people. So if you just want to buy some of my books, you can get that from Similia sa Kinabuhi. Contact Ryan Cagadas. I think the 3 books, pag binili mong set is 1,000 pesos and the shipping to Manila is around 200 pesos or more. So the reason why I wrote my books is because I want people to experience what we experience. Next week, we will talk about the purpose of business. The week after that, we will talk about the responsibility of a business steward. On the 4th session, we will talk about how to build a profitable business. And on the last week, we will talk about the essential traits of the entrepreneur. Okay? Because character is as important as skills. So we'll end with that. I have a Viber community called Keeper of His Garden. Nandyan sila Jason Law, nandyan sila Randall Chongson, sila Marvin, and some people want to join this. If you like to join our community, there we share our business principle, and my other friends also do the same. So just send me a message, okay? Send me a message, a messenger, or sa email. So I would like to thank all of you for patiently listening to me.